Hey everyone, Ned Baker here. Welcome back to another YouTube video. Today, I'll be talking about dips. Not this dip, these dips. But this is delicious. As with all main calisthenics exercises, there are heaps of variations of the dip. Some of them are cool, some of them are really tough, but to be honest, most of them are a waste of time. Today, I'm going to show you the best variations for the dip and how to progress it. Dips are a vertical pushing movement. They are different to other vertical pushing movements like the overhead press or a handstand push-up, as your arms are not overhead, they're down here. But it can still be considered as a vertical pushing exercise. Don't try and replace your overhead pushing movement with dips. Try and find a way to add dips into your routine. Dips are a great compound exercise, mainly works your triceps, but also works your chest and shoulders. I believe dips should be trained by most athletes. You see, dips are one of the best exercises for overall upper body size and strength. In my beginner calisthenics workout, I showed you how to get started with dips. If you've never tried dips before, bench dips are a great progression for absolute beginners, and they're also great if you don't have access to any bars. Okay, let's get into it. Before we start looking at variations, let's have a look at the normal dip. So, starting with support, you want to keep your body straight, you go down as low as you can, and come back up. Now the more mobile your shoulders are, the lower you'll be able to go. If your shoulders aren't very mobile, just stick to about 90 degrees and push back up. If you lean forward and bring your legs forward, it targets the chest more. You can also do it by just leaning forward. However, even though it's a compound exercise, the dip is designed to target the triceps more than the chest. So I would recommend doing dips without leaning forward and do other exercises for your chest. Remember, this will still hit your chest, but it will mainly work the triceps. Okay, let's say you can already dip, and you've come to this video to see all the variations. In my opinion, once you can do over 15 dips in a row, it's time to start making it harder. So from here, there are two main pathways you can go. You can either add weight to the dip, or do them on the rings. Both of these are very difficult and will give you very good gains. First, let's talk about weighted dips. Dips are the upper body exercise you can get the most weight on. It's like the squat of the upper body. When doing weighted dips, staying more vertical will actually allow you to use more weight. You want to squeeze the plates between your legs. If you're not doing this, the weights will start swinging around and it's much harder to push heavy. So a general rule is that your weighted dip will be around 15% more than your bench press if you add your body weight and the external weight here. This weighted dip calibrates what heavy pushing really feels like and will carry over to other moves like the handstand push-up. Let me know what your heaviest weighted dip is in the comments and see if you can guess how much this is right here. Now to rings dips. Before you go straight to doing dips on the rings, you need to be able to hold support first. As I explained in my beginner calisthenics workout, you want to be able to hold the rings so they're forward like this with your hands turned in, just like the bars. If you get comfortable with that, you can start turning them out nice and slow. Keep your arms straight, okay? That is also a good progression to move on after you do the workouts in my beginner rings video. Once you can hold yourself for a while, you can do sets of dips where you keep your palms in. The benefits of doing dips on the rings is the added instability component of the rings, which forces the chest and even the core to work harder. Also, the rings allow a more natural shoulder movement as you're not fixed into a position like you would be on the P-bars. Eventually, you'll be able to turn the rings out at the top. If you get really good at these and feel strong, then you can progress to the rings turned out dip, also known as the RTO dip. To do these, you need to be quite advanced. This is not an exercise for beginners. The thing about RTO dips is you'll get a massive overall strength increase. Not only will they improve all your dips, but they'll improve your handstand push-up like nothing else. They'll improve your muscle-ups, back lever, bent arm planche on rings, and more. If you want your weighted dips to improve, try even just sets of 3 of RTO dips. You see there's a high level of transfer between weighted dips and RTO dips. Even your weighted dips are going to improve your RTO dips. If you're strong enough, add them into your training routine and see what kind of results you get. If you're a beast, try and combine the two. Weighted RTO dips. A world-class standard would be doing them. So they're the 2 main pathways to go down once you get at regular dips. These 2 are going to reap huge benefits in your training. The next variation I want to talk about is called the impossible dip. This was created by a man called Artem Morozov. If you haven't checked out his channel, I would recommend doing that. I'll link it in the description below. Just so you know, the impossible dip isn't actually impossible. It's just extremely difficult. Not many people in the world can do it. I cannot. Basically, you start in support and lean back onto your elbows. Then you keep your shoulders behind your elbows and come up again. You need to have a ton of tricep strength. This is harder than RTO dips and is one of the hardest calisthenic moves out there. There is a good regression for this. It's called the Russian dip. This is similar but much easier. Basically, you go into a deep dip and at the bottom, lean back so your elbows are resting on the bars. This will be hard and jolty at first, but with practice, you'll get better. The stronger you are, the slower you can go. This is not a Russian dip. This is where you sink down. That is different. If you want me to do a tutorial on the Russian dip, let me know in the comments. If you want to watch a tutorial on the impossible dip, go to Artem Morozov's channel because he does some great progressions and great variations for the impossible dip because he created it. Finally, let's talk about another insane variation. This one's called the Hefesto. Again, not many people in the world can do this one. It can be done on bars or rings. For the Hefesto, you start in support, lower down into a back lever, and pull yourself back into support. You need to have insanely strong biceps and very good mobility to try this. I want you to let me know in the comments what you think is harder, the Hefesto or the impossible dip. I've talked to many of the greats like Merrick, Abnormal Beings, and Artem Morozov himself. It's quite mixed. Some say Hefesto is harder, some say impossible dip. What we know is that they're both extremely difficult. If you want me to do a tutorial on the Hefesto, let me know in the comments. A good regression for the Hefesto is a Korean dip. You can have your hands this way, but I like to go this way as it's more like the Hefesto. From here you go down as far as you can and come back up. On the rings, this is very similar to the RTO dip. To make the Korean dip slightly easier, you can do it between 2 bars like this. Okay, that's it for the best dip variations and progressions. I'm now going to show you some other variations that are good, but not as beneficial as the ones I showed before. Roll the honorable mentions. Okay, thanks for watching. Before I finish off this video, there's one more tip I thought I might give. When testing out your max dips, instead of doing as many as you can as fast as you can, use a metronome. So put it on 60, which is 1 beat every second. You go down 1 second, up the next. And you keep going like that as many as you can. This will make it harder, but it will keep you more consistent and honest with your max dips. All right, Thanks for watching, and remember, never stop learning.
Da 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 da.